Today, we will be doing our 500 subscriber special, which, like I mentioned in a post I made earlier, we did kind of cheese it, and although it's not really a legitimate 500 subscribers because most of them come from YouTube refugees that wanted to watch sumo wrestling, I'm going to keep to my word, and today we are doing Khan. We're not going to get all of it done in one run, but you will be seeing my opening moves and how we go from Mongolia to snaking around the world, getting position everywhere we need to go, and within 100 years, see how we can go from a tiny horde vassal to one of the most powerful nations in the world, and how we have to keep snowballing that into one of the most difficult and famous achievements of this game. Welcome everybody to Khan Part 1. We will also be getting more achievements throughout this run, but I will wait until Part 2 to explain those because we don't get any achievements in this Day 1, or this Part 1 rather. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this something of a guide on how to do Khan, Mongolia, restore the Mongol Empire before the age of absolutism. Good luck, me. Alright, so my only basis of what to do here was watching a Zlewick video. I'm obviously going to get more horsies because we're a horde. We only have the tribes, which we've done as, you know, recently forming the Golden Horde, so we know what this entails. Let's see. Don't need the governing capacity just yet. We might in the future. Greater autonomy for the chieftains. That's not going to help us. We need things that will help us. Larger tribal hosts. That's fine. It's just more influence for them. Autonomy of the tribes gives more religious unity, but we lose Crownland. Tribes' freedom of the steppes does not lose crown share from developing provinces. We probably don't want that. Let's see. Military service. Contribute warriors. Now we don't need that. Ensure the tribe's loyalty. That's more influence. That's fine. Stab cost modifier because we are going to be breaking free from the Oirat. We're going to need the stab cost modifier. And then secured succession is definitely one that I want to keep. But let's also do... May as well do the autonomy of the tribes, because I was thinking, on one hand, going religious to make declaring some wars a little bit easier, but also staying humanist so you could just control all of the different religions that we're going to be conquering is probably the safest bet. So, probably not going to take the... yeah, let's take the religious unity one. Just for funsies. We lost a little bit of Crownland, but we get it right back. And yeah, let's see what we need to restore the Mongol Empire. We must be the Yuan, which we will be, the Golden Horde, the Ilkhanate, or Chagatai. Mongolia owns all the colonized provinces in Mongolia, which we're right next to that. We're going to have to conquer Korchin as well, it looks like. All of the provinces in the Pontic Steppe, Beijing, Nanjing, Canton, all the provinces in Khorasan, all the provinces in Persia, Moscow, Kievas. So, we don't need to own all of Russia, and I don't know where Kievas is, but we do need to own a lot of provinces. And we are going to be getting there. And the other thing too, we don't have to own specifically all of China, but we will for the Great Yuan, plus owning all of China is going to be a great base for us anyway, so we may as well. So let's start by, wow, we're actually making a good chunk of money. Let's start by trying to find people that will help us get independence from the Oirat, who doesn't like us at all because they want our provinces. So let's fish for... ask to support independence. We can probably get Uzbek, Mogulistan, and that's it. So let's start improving with the both of them. And see where this takes us. And now I'm going to stop the recording. That way I don't have to go through that entire spiel over and over and over again. All right, voiceover Leo here because I was sitting too far away from the microphone when I was recording, so I kept on cutting out weirdly. So I'll just talk over it for the entirety of this video. I hope you'll enjoy that. But this war against the Oirat, we started off with Mongolistan and Uzbek to help us out, and most of the time you'll be able to stack wipe that first army too. If you don't, it's okay. This war is much easier if you can get both. Doable if you only get one or the other between Uzbek and Mongolistan. You'll also notice that in the peace deal, I get land that makes it so that we have a border with Mongolistan, and that is because in case you can't become a Ming tributary, you will have to expand westward, so you will have to go through Mongolistan. In this run, we got a little bit lucky too because Solon and Nivik did not have any allies, and you are going to need to go through all of these guys just to get a little bit of a power base, clean up your borders so they don't join a coalition, that kind of thing. And the other thing too is the fact that you will need to be on a wartime economy. You'll see here that I can indeed become a tributary of Ming. That will allow us to fight Korchin, Jiangzhou, Karadel, Saragyogir, all these other tributaries of Ming, and that will piss off Ming. They may or may not kick you out of being a tributary, but that's a little bit later down the line. Here in this war, we go to war with Karadel and Tsang. We co-belligerate Tsang so we can vassalize Tsang, and we use their claims in order to start going to war in Tibet. Now, for these achievements, we don't need anything in Tibet, but there is a gold mine in Guje. It is on a glacier province, a gold mine down there, and we're really going to need that for our economy. You'll see that we do struggle economically throughout the entire campaign here. And again, the most important thing is the fact that we are indeed taking this land, raising it for the money, for the mana points, and then using those mana points to develop for feudalism, develop for the Renaissance later, the money to pay for our armies, because like I mentioned, we have to constantly be at war, because we have to constantly raise provinces, we have to constantly be looting, we have to constantly be getting money from these people over and over and over again. I did not finish off Haiji, but I did full annex Orachoni. Here, I have Jiangzhou, Jibei, and Korchin that I'm going to war with, and this war is pretty difficult. I may have bit off a little bit more than I can chew here, because Jiangzhou, they have a lot of forts, and they took a bite out of Korea, so they have a little bit more development for themselves as well. But we do get the full annexation on Jibei. You can see we're raising. We get a big chunk out of Jiangzhou. We can't get a lot, or everything rather, but we do take a big bite out of them and basically exile them to Korea. And then we finish off Korchin, and you're going to notice that Ming does take a bite out of Haiji as well. After this, I did not go to war with Saragyogir to start, because they were allied to the Oirat, and I wanted to co-belligerate the Oirat so I can take more land from them. And you can see in the top right, we're only at 1467, 1468, and we've already doubled, tripled in size. And again, raise every single province you get, and eventually we're going to start trade companying everything we get too, which will help us a lot later down the line. Ming does start to get pissed off at us because we're taking out a lot of their tributaries. We dev for feudalism here, because even though we eat up a lot of provinces that have feudalism in it, we really need feudalism. We had a lot of extra points anyway, so may as well go for it. Here we finish off one province minor, Kham, and Ladakh over there to the west, and kind of take stock of what we need to do next, which we do need to go to war with Ming. We do eventually need to push through Mongolistan, but they're allied to Uzbek, who's allied to Kazan. It's a very powerful alliance to the west, and Ming is still too powerful to take on as well. So it is a little bit of like rock versus hard place here. And then after raising these provinces in Tibet as well, because we don't need Tibet, I basically steal all the resources and then give it to Tsang, and I make Tsang into a march to make them a little bit more powerful as a vassal. So that does help us. I don't think it hurts us, but I don't know if it was smarter to have those provinces for ourselves. I'm not too sure, but it is what it is. Over here, you could see, or I might cut that one line out. Here I'm explaining that Ming might stop us from being a tributary. Sometimes they do kick you out, sometimes they don't. I don't really know what triggers that. But before they do, we have to declare on one province minor Haishi, and we do still have a long truce with Jiangzhou. And it is, this is where it starts to get tricky because, you know, I had to clear out a lot of rebels at this point, and now I am going to declare this war on Haishi. Again, getting rid of these smaller countries keeps them out of a coalition, which we will have to deal with coalitions a lot later. Like, many times I have to fight coalitions and just go for a white peace just to break up the coalition, because you have to expand so fast and you have to expand in so many places. It gets really annoying. So here you can see on the right side too, Korea is at war with Jiangzhou, which is kind of funny. Reduces Jiangzhou to like 2 provinces. And here I am going to start developing for the Renaissance, because again, after raising so many provinces, we have so much excess mana points that, you know, we do need to use them, and we use them to get the Renaissance so we could stay good on technology. And, you know, that is one thing, if you've never played a horde before, is that you are in excess if you know what you're doing. I didn't know what I was doing, so I was struggling a lot at first, but once I got the hang of it, and knowing that I need to be war, back to back, like, it's only the late 1470s right now. I've gone to war like 6, 7, 8, 9 times. We're waiting, watching the mandate. A plague comes, and we don't get to see that 90 drop to 20. And then Ming, we are going to declare war on them. And in this first war, what I want to take, you know, this is a bit of a struggle too. I lose a couple of battles because I'm a bit careless. I'm, you know, trying to siege things down. And, you know, you do have to be a bit smarter than I was. I'm not showing all of the battles, I'm just going through this pretty quickly. And right now I'm explaining with that idea group I'm getting, I want to go Diplo admin ideas so I can expand that much faster. The province war score cost is very important in Diplo. And you can see in the top left-hand corner, I'm about to go bankrupt, so I'm spending all my points. And this is going to be the first of several tactical bankruptcies that I put myself through, because, again, I'm not too good at this game. I ruin my economy because I build up 2 medium to large-sized armies before I go to this war against Ming, and because of the drain on the economy, it really hurts, and I go bankrupt during the war against Ming. Although this is already past the point where I'm winning the war, so all I have to do is siege things down, so I'm not really losing any resources. And you can see here in the peace deal, I want the southern border that they have with their tributaries down there, Dai Viet, Lanzhang, that kind of thing, so that way they can't take any land and turn on Ming. And also as much money as possible, because instead of taking loans, we're just going to take all of that money. We are going to use that to supplement our army, and we are going to not go for 100% war score, because to carpet siege everything and siege it all down is a lot of work. And maybe that is one of the mistakes I made in this run, because one thing you get as Mongolia, as a horde, is you get a lot of modifiers to loot in provinces and looting speed. So for all of the provinces that I did not take and I won't be raising, that's a lot of lost money that I'm losing out on. So if I had one person on a province just looting until it was empty, I probably would have made a lot more money, and I probably would not have been worrying so much about the economy. Now, the one bad thing about this bankruptcy is that I have to wait 5 years, at this point I think 2 or 3, until I can declare another war. And because of that, we can't immediately drag Ming into another war, reset the timer, get more money from them, which sucks a little bit. But you can see here we now have the shamans. We started off with the tribes, now we have the shamans, and that is due to a mission. And if you just kind of follow the mission tree that you get from Mongolia, then you will be getting a lot of these buffs that I was talking about. You will be unlocking more things for yourself. You will be getting more claims. And, I mean, I kind of followed it. I kind of just fought where the opportunity presented itself, and I didn't really go 1-for-1 with that mission tree, so it's not too much to worry about. You can see I'm clicking on this country down here, Mong Mao, because for one of the achievements, you need to control all of China, and Mong Mao, those two provinces they own, is technically China. Whereas everything else that we are going to be taking is already, you know, within our sights. So I ally Lanzhong so they can help us out with some of these Burmese powers like Dai Viet, like Ayutthaya, like all the little crappy nations down there. Also Bengal, because Ming does ally Bengal a couple of times, which is really annoying. And that just makes the wars a little bit difficult. I also allied Delhi so they can help us against the Indian powers that ally, you know, Mogulistan, Uzbek, all those other guys over there, which, again, is very annoying. We call the war against Jiangzhou to basically just clean up Manchuria over here. We go into the war against Ming too, and in this war, we step on their capital, we take as much money as we can. I don't want to keep them in the war too long, and a shorter truce is ideal. We're just getting the money so we can fund our armies. I'm not really building any buildings, and I'm not really doing much other than paying for my military with all the money that I'm getting. I will also eventually return that one province to Korea so I don't have to deal with Korean separatists, but not going to war with Korea is kind of a mistake because they constantly form a coalition against me. Here I get the admin ideas, so I'm really building for the long game here, the long shot, and I mean, look at the calendar. It's only been 50 years, and I already have pretty much all of Tibet, all of northern China, or above northern China, southern China to myself. This is a really good power base in only 50 years. And now, right now, I am trying to see if I can do this war against Chagatai, which I will have Delhi helping me out. Their troops are going to be valuable for us. Here I just clean up the one province, Oirat, just so they don't join a coalition, but again, they're going to join a coalition against you. And, I mean, this video is less of a guide and just me doing it and showing you how I did it. And
I lost control of the south. Let's go.
There we go. Ming is started to lose control of the south. That means Yue and Wu are free for the taking. Except Wu is not as free for the taking because they do ally Ashikaga, and I have to ally Ashikaga myself later. You'll see that happen. But after eating up Yue, I do make a mistake. I make a couple of mistakes when it comes to Ming because I do not let them fall apart. I actually fight their rebels for them, which is stupid. And although I wanted to take, you know, more money, more resources from Ming, in not letting them fall apart, I actually made it more difficult on myself to take all of China, because instead of Shun and Qi and Miao and whoever else popping out of Ming, I have to fight Ming 6-7 more times. So, big mistake here. I should have let Ming fall apart. You can see all of the people trying to break free from Ming, and this is where I really messed up. I should have waited maybe 2 or 3 years, not gone to war with Ming, maybe go to war with Korea instead, so I can just clean up Korea. And yeah, from this point on, Yi pops out, Miao will pop out as well, but that's really it.
Ooh, Yi popped out.
And you're gonna see I do clean this up. Wu again is gonna take a little while.
Perfect. Lanzhong will do the work.
And after this is when we start expanding westward, because again, Chagatai, they have like 3-4 forts. Uzbek is a lot of land, and their army is just going to come and carpet siege me. And that is one of the major problems of playing as one of these hordes, is the fact that you have so much open land. I tore down all of the forts that I took because they were just wasting so much money, which in hindsight, maybe I could have kept them, maybe I didn't need to. It's really hard to say, but I mean, having those forts probably would have restricted their movement and made it a little bit easier on me. Here I ally Ashikaga because I do need to have them break their alliance with Wu, so I can take Wu for myself. As I look at the alliance maps over here, I want to go west. I need to go west. I need to go at some point. Uzbek, Chagatai, Kazan, that triumvirate of alliances is going to be very difficult to push through. I even try to ally the Ottomans and maybe Persia temporarily just so I can get some of these guys to help me out. But I just kind of have to do it myself with Delhi, and it's really annoying. And you could see I actually did have an alliance with Kazan, broke the alliance with Uzbek. That way I can just go to war with Chagatai and Uzbek together. And I think Chagatai had a couple more annoying alliances, like a Multan down there next to Delhi, which Delhi puts their entire army down there, which is super annoying, and they don't actually help you out in the war. And now I can't break the alliance between Ashikaga and Wu because I just broke the alliance between the other guys. So I do have to wait a little bit. That was a little bit of a mistake on my part. But, I mean, cleaning up Wu, we can wait. We can wait on China. And you're going to see this is where we start going back and forth between the West and China. Because we don't have anyone to the east of us. We could have and probably should have cleaned up Korea when we had the chance. We don't need to build boats to go to Japan. We don't need Korea or Japan for these achievements. But it would have made things easier in the long run. Now you can see here we're declaring on Uzbek, and they have, we're not going to co-belligerate Chagatai, we are going to basically just white peace them or break their alliances. And you can see Crimea is also in the war. The Ottomans took a bite out of Crimea. We are going to vassalize Crimea and try to use them to get cores back from Genoa and from the Ottomans. So you're going to see here I am going to peace out and vassalize Crimea.
There we go. Fine.
And this is another little mistake. You're going to see why later in this video. Because I thought, oh, I can go to war with those powers over there. I can feed Crimea the Pontic steppe and then take it for myself. You know? And it's a good idea in theory. Here, I get an ugly border with Uzbek because I wanted to get that border with Kazan so we can go to war with Kazan sooner, co-belligerate Kazan, and, you know, just eat up as much land as humanly possible, because eventually we're going to go to war with Chagatai, Uzbek, and Kazan again. We're going to have all three of those at war at the same time, and again, going to war with these guys is super annoying. You can see half of our land is occupied. They have so many units in our land, and it's not hard to get 100% war score because you could just sit on the Uzbek capital and then carpet siege. Chagatai is harder because they have 4 forts. Kazan is harder because they have like 2-3 forts, but then after you get those forts, you can just carpet siege them back down. You can see here I am almost finished with my admin and Diplo ideas, and you can see right there I look at, oh, I just missed out on 25% CCR, so I go back and I get the refunds on all my points just so I can save a little bit of admin points, because saving up your points, like, we were getting a lot and we will be getting more, but you're gonna need to core a lot of things. So admin points especially are things that you need to save up. Like, you can see I have over 1,000 mil points, but we're not taking a military idea, so they're just kind of going to waste right there. Like, I even start deving manpower in a bunch of provinces, because that does help out your manpower a little bit. And right here, we're going back to war with Ming. They have a bunch of alliances, a bunch of annoying alliances, and it's as easy as just stepping onto the Vietnamese capital, white piecing them, letting Delhi control Bengal. And that is one of the things that helps us out, is the fact that we have Tsang as a march, is the fact that they will spend their time sieging down Tsang and not you. So they will spend time sieging down Tsang's capital, which it's a little annoying because I built them a castle and then they tore down their castle, I guess because it was too much money. And it's just like, dude, I'm trying to make it harder for everyone else and easier for us. What are you doing? So here you can see I clean up Wu, and we will have to take Taiwan as well, which is a little annoying because that means we're going to have to build boats, and Taiwan is going to join coalitions, and it's just one more tiny nation we're going to have to deal with. One annoying thing too is that we can't full annex Wu. I mean, they are a small looking country, but they are highly developed. South China is highly developed, and it is quite annoying to try to take them. But I mean, we're going to have to keep going to war, and this is where a lot of the skill comes in to this large scale wartime Mongolia expansion is juggling these truce timers, knowing where you have to put your troops so you can go back to war. Because you could see clearly we only have like 3-4 armies for multiple fronts that we need to be on. We need to constantly be at war with Ming. We have to go to war with Chagatai. We have to reach into Persia. We have to go up into Russia through Kazan. So I felt like I was constantly behind because I only had these 3 armies that I had to, take a war one at a time. I had to take that war with Wu, one small war with Wu. Then now I have to go to war with Chagatai, call in Delhi, co-belligerate Kazan, Uzbek. We're just going to white peace probably. And then we have Jaunpur, Multan, and Shirvan in this war as well, which is super annoying. Delhi can deal with them, but for the most part, I just need to send one of my 4 armies down to Jaunpur, stand on their capital, and white piece them out, which is super annoying, and it feels like you're wasting time. But when you look at the calendar, it's 1523, we're still in the age of, very early in the age of Reformation, and because we co-belligerate a lot of people, we actually are able to take a lot of land, and because we take a lot of land, we can raise all of that land, get a lot of points back, get a lot of money back, and those concerns I was just saying about going to war too much and too often and being in debt, you can offset that really easily. You can see we snake a little bit because Muscovy actually got beat up. You can see the Danish are in Russia, and they released Nizhny Novgorod and a couple of other small countries like Kasim, Rostov, and we just chain another war straight into Nizhny Novgorod because we do have to reach a little bit closer to Moscow for the creation of the Mongol Empire. So it's good for us that Moscow or Russia got beat up, and it is... the way they got beat up too is perfect for us because they weren't completely taken by the Commonwealth and the Dutch, or the Danish rather, sorry. And they weren't, big stompers that they can, run me over too. So it was a nice happy medium. There I declare a war on Persia, and this is where I start to roll. I'm like, yes, I'm feeling good. I'm winning these wars. These are easy wars. And then the Ottomans declare on us. The Ottomans declare on us for Crimea, which this goes back to maybe I made a little bit of a mistake in trying to vassalize Crimea and go on even more fronts than I was already doing, So as soon as that war declaration comes through, it's a good thing we were already at like 100% with Chagatai, so we take as much as we can from Chagatai. We just started this war with Persia, so we can't exactly dip out of that too fast. And then the war with Nizhny Novgorod, they're only a 3-province minor, allied to a 1-province minor, but I have to wait to siege down those forts, so I just cut out of that war quickly. Here, I also think... I have all of my allies in on this war defensively against the Ottomans. Maybe I can actually take them. Maybe I can take them on. But you'll see in a little bit that I decide against it because I know that the Ottomans have stronger troops than me. I know that they will simply run us over, and I don't want to deal with that, basically. You'll see I tech up here, and I want to go for a military idea. I did not go for horde ideas, which, again, may have been helpful because of the cavalry cost and the unrest and all that, but I mean, being in a war against the Ottomans, I knew I needed a better quality army, so I went with offensive ideas, and this is really the only idea group that I go with that improves the quality of my armies. And it doesn't really come back to bite us until the very end game when it doesn't even matter after I form the Mongol Empire, but that'll be in a future video. And you can see here, I look and I'm like, okay, what do the Ottomans want from me? And they just want land from Crimea. So I'm thinking, okay, this is free. They're going to make me release 1-province minor in Tibet and the Mong Mao, who is southwestern China, who I think we accidentally skipped that war in the video. But I don't care that they're free because they're 2 provinces and we're just going to take them back again once the Ottomans stop guaranteeing them. So, like,
We don't have Crimea.
I didn't lose anything against the Ottomans here. It was only 30% war score. They took a couple provinces from Crimea, made me release Crimea, made me release 3 more provinces. Like, I really did not lose anything.
Try to take whatever I can.
Persia, I cut out of this war early. I think because I was, I'm running low on manpower, I'm running low on money, I just wanted to take whatever I could, and that is a pretty good foothold to have already in Persia, so I was okay to take this. I don't remember why I cut out of it early. I think it was partly because the Timurids were occupying a lot of the land, and I knew it would take me a long time to get that 100% war score, so I was just like, you know what, I'll take this foothold in Persia, and looking at the map right there, thank goodness the Ottomans are not in Persia, but their ally Akkayunlu is. So that might make things a little difficult. And you could see up there I have a bunch of truces that I am trying to juggle. And as we take a step back and, you know, take a look at our realm here, I have most of what I need in Central Asia. I just have to reach down into Khorasan and Persia, which I do need to eventually go to war with Delhi to take 3 provinces from Khorasan. I have to go to war with the Timurids, Hormuz, Transoxiana, Uzbek, Kazan, Ming. Like, there's still so many things that I need to do. And I need to do all of it in less than 80 years. So I'm a little worried at this point. Like, will I be able to do this? I still have to take the Pontic steppe back from the Ottomans and partially from Genoa, so that's a little scary. I still have to go through Kazan for pieces of Russia. I still have to go through Muscovy for pieces of the Pontic steppe and for Moscow. I still have to fight the Commonwealth for pieces of the Pontic steppe, but it is partially because of how big we are, how many armies we have, and those offensive ideas that I took. I do not regret taking the offensive ideas that we really start to bowl through our enemies, and that will be in the upcoming second part that I will be releasing next week. So again, at this stage, I thought I was behind because I've seen so many other videos like, oh, take all of China in 10 years by truce breaking them over and over again. Form the Yuan by 1500, and here I am snaking west. I haven't even formed the Yuan. I haven't even spent the time to take out Korea. I haven't taken much from former Timurid lands. Like, I feel like I'm way behind on this. But in the next part that you will be seeing next week, we are actually going to start snowballing. And right there, again, you saw I have a lot of debts. I have a lot of money being paid off to the army. And that first bankruptcy is not going to be the only bankruptcy of this run. So look forward to part 2, where I will fight through another bankruptcy as we continue to push through all of China, all of Persia, Russia, the Ottomans. Like, there's still a lot to get done here. Thank you very much for watching, and we will see you next week.